It's me, Roxanne, and I'm back today to share a brand new pattern review with you by Sinclair Patterns. I was selected again to be part of their testing team, and I made the Monterey Hoodie for my son James. I asked him if he would like me to test this pattern for him, and he said that if he could select the fabrics, that he'd be happy to do a photo shoot with me. So here is the Monterey Hoodie. And I'm going to show you some tips and tricks for working with a lighter weight knit, a mid to lightweight knit, and some of my details like the top stitching. So stay tuned. If you're not familiar with Sinclair Patterns from some of the other pattern reviews I've done, I wanted to share with you that they are a PDF pattern company and they offer all the standard size formats that you're used to. They have the A4, which is standard for Europe. They have the letter sizing for us in the US. They also carry the AO copy shop large format if you don't want to tape all those small pieces together. And then they also have patterns for the projectors now that people are investing in. So they have a variety of ways that you can print their PDF patterns off. They also offer a feature called layers, which means you can isolate and print only the size range that you want to print, which saves a lot of ink for those of us that are printing on our own. So when it comes to printing, they've thought about all the different options and they offer all the formats. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is the fit and the details that are involved in making this hoodie. I chose to make the view A that has the kangaroo pockets, and I used a contrast fabric. It is a raglan style, and I chose to make the scuba hood option. There's also a standing collar option, as well as a variety of different zippers that can be added to give it even more fashion-forward look. My son didn't want the additional zippers, so it only has the center front zipper and it has the hood detail. This is a average to slim fit, and it is a little bit longer for more coverage. It's meant to be a jacket that goes over another light layer. This is not an oversized jacket that you'll be wearing a bulky sweater under. And it's perfect for our climate because we live in South Florida and we rarely need a jacket here. Our climate goes from very hot to warm to maybe a few cool days here and there. So this jacket will be perfect for him. He likes that it has an extra longer length. He likes the pockets. And he likes that the sleeves are full coverage. They come all the way down because he likes to wear them down and sometimes he likes to push them up. So it all depends, how he feels. So that's the fit and the details. Now, when it comes to size, Sinclair has you covered in your size range because this pattern comes in a size 34 to a size 52. So it's very inclusive of size, as well as height. It comes in short, average, and tall sizes. So they have you covered there. I wanted to share my thoughts on the tutorial that comes along with this PDF pattern purchase. I felt that the tutorial was very complete. It starts you off at the very beginning by determining the size that you'll need to cut, or sizes, and shows you how to blend the sizes. And it will move you into printing your proper layers, as well as all the different yardage amounts that you'll need for all the different details. If you notice, my hoodie, my sleeve, and my pockets are in one fabrication, a print fabrication, and then I used a solid for the body, as well as the inside of the pockets and the outside of the hoodie. So it gives you separate yardage measurements for different parts of the pattern, which is very nice, so you don't have to figure that out on your own and guess. Now, as far as the tutorial goes, this is more for an intermediate sewist. I didn't find it difficult, but I did find the directions were unfamiliar to me, and some of the techniques that were used were different. So it did take me a little while to study some of the details, like the zipper and how that was installed, but it's not hard. It was just different from how, as a production pattern maker, I would have installed or inserted the zipper. But as you know with sewing, there are many different ways to complete any sewing operation. So with this jacket, I felt that I learned a lot and that I tried things that I hadn't tried before in all my years of pattern making. So to me, that was very great that I learned something from this. And it's always my goal when I try something new and different to learn from it. And I definitely feel that this is a jacket that I recommend making, and I'll probably make this jacket again for my son. Here is a close-up of the Kangaroo Pocket in the front of my jacket. Now, I'm showing in the picture box there how I interfaced around the inside of the edge with a narrow strip of fusible tricot. And I fused that in, and then I stitched over it, and it really keeps my pocket nice and stable. I don't like ripples when I sew with knits. I'm very careful about stabilizing things. I may even over stabilize things because I don't want any ripples or any pulling. And isn't this print cute? It looks like, from a distance, it looks like an animal print, but when you get close up, it has these cute little panda bears. So I just wanted to point out that detail because I really liked it. Now, another thing that I did to make sure that my pocket doesn't ripple once I sewed it onto the body of the jacket is I used a piece of bonded interfacing on the inside behind where the whole pocket would be, and it's very secure. So you know, if you've ever had a jacket where it started to tear away, you know what I'm talking about. You need a little reinforcement there. So let me show you on this side how I trimmed it out so that it was just behind where the stitching is to reinforce the stitching, not behind the whole thing. So I will take this out. Another area that they suggest that you stabilize is the front of the jacket, and I used 1-inch fusible tricot there along the front. And that's what gives you a really, really nice zipper instead of one that ripples up and down the front of your jacket. That's not so attractive. Another area that I stabilize is my Raglan sleeve. On the sleeve itself, I fuse in the 5/8 of an inch fusing just on the sleeve, not on the body. And it just keeps that stable so that my seam is nice and smooth. I don't have any ripples there either because I don't like the ripples. Ripples to me are a sign of something that looks homemade instead of professionally made. So I'll go out of my way to put in fusing, even though it takes a little bit longer, because I know my garment is going to look so much nicer. So another thing I gave a little teaser on Instagram about was my top stitching on my pockets. When I top stitch, I like to use two threads together through the eye of the needle. So when you're doing that, it'll give you a little bit of a heavier look, like on jeans, as well as I will lengthen my stitch, and I'll use a heavier ballpoint needle so that my stitches look very nice and even. I will also use a thread stand next to my machine for that separate spool of thread. And I'll have the information for this in the description box if you are interested in getting a thread stand, because they're very handy. I use them on my sergers quite often and on my conventional sewing machines when I use cone thread. So I hope you found these tips on stabilizing knits and top stitching helpful. I'll consider doing a video of top stitching if I get interest. So leave me a comment if you'd like to see a video on how I top stitch. I have one other thing that I'd like to share with you. I have opened my Facebook group up to owners of all different brands of sewing machines now. I used to exclusively just have Singer 9960 members, but now I've decided to open it up and be more inclusive, since it seems as though people aren't as interested in that machine anymore. And I would really like to expand my horizons, and that's why I bought the FAF, because it's a brand that I've wanted to explore for a long time, and now I'm really happy that I decided to make that decision and get a nice used FAF, because it seems like right away we've become friends. So thank you again for stopping by and watching my latest pattern review on the Monterey Hoodie by Sinclair Patterns. I'll have all the information in the description box if you'd like to purchase this pattern, as well as some of the other items that I've shared during this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel and giving me a like. I always appreciate comments. So as always, have a happy creative day. Bye now.